Everything I've ever seen, everything I've lost or won, everything I've ever dreamed has brought me here to the present moment, here to a new beginning, here, and I'm seeing life so clearly now. Get ready, my soul, I'm diving in. Marlon. I am the music director here. And if you are comfortable, please stand and join the hand of the person next to you. This is Surely the Presence.
Let us pray. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place because you are in this place. You, the expressions, the very hands, the feet, the face, the heart, the voice of the one power and the one presence we call God. We call love, we call spirit, we call all that is. It is you. It is you that is God made visible. And as we come together to celebrate and honor and learn from that truth and deepen and expand our consciousness so that we may become greater, fuller, more magnificent expressions of that divine. We say yes. We say yes to the unfolding of God in, through, and as us. We say yes. We say yes to being even more fabulous expressions of spirit. This is why we are here. Not just here at Unity on the River, but here on this planet, on this earth, in this place and in this time. This is who we are. And this is what we are meant to be. And so it is. Amen. Amen. You may be seated. Amen. Good morning. I am Reverend Ogun Holder, Senior Minister here, and I am so thrilled to see all of you here with us. And just like that, fall is here. I knew fall was here because this morning, despite sleeping under 3 blankets, I woke up in a curled fetal ball position. Not wanting to inch to the left or to the right because the sheet was cold over there and over there. But just in that. So fall is here. But what do we know about fall? Fall is just a continuation of the cycle of life that is nature. And the colors are changed, and before you know it, is going to be like, an artist's palette threw up all over the trees. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be lovely. Winter will come, that time of cold, deep hibernation. Before we know it, spring and summer will be here. It's the only thing that's keeping me going. Spring and summer. Spring and summer. It's going to come on back. How many of you made it to the health fair yesterday?
Fantastic.
Yeah? I want to acknowledge Tina Michaud Grace. Tina here. She's probably recovering from yesterday, but give Tina a hand. And if any of you volunteered in any capacity to help make the health fair happen yesterday, any of you are here, just raise your hand. Even if all you did was move chairs and tables, set up chairs and tables, help get folks here, give these folks a hand. The thing I love best about the health fair, not just the folks and the healers and the practitioners who come and share their gifts and talents, but I love when people walk in to participate and go, I didn't even know you guys were here. Or you existed. So it's a great way to get people to know Unity on the River. And if any of you are here for the first time because of that, special welcome to you. We'll give you an even greater special welcome later. But for now, I want to turn it over to to Motorcycle Mickey over here in her leather jacket, ready to go. There you go. All yours, Mickey.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Unity on the River. It's been a little while since I've been up here, so bear with me. Look at all of you beautiful people. Thank you for coming. So grateful to have you here today. And just wanted to let you know that I'm the fashion today that I have on is the mid-season summer into fall here in New England. You got the jacket, but then you can't get rid of the flip-flops yet. That's what we do here in New England, Reverend Ogun, so just so you know. A little too cold. You're looking very dapper yourself, Reverend, as always. So first of all, I'd like to welcome you. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming. And I'd like to welcome the streamers, everybody. If you could wave. I was a streamer last week. It was really awesome. I streamed on my phone because I had to leave the house. I brought Michael Murdad with me in my car. I listened to him in my car. Awesome. Awesome. So, not that you want to do that. It's nice to be able to be home. But streaming is a wonderful thing. So welcome. Anybody here for the first time? We have a flower. Keep your hands up. Thank you for coming. We have a flower. We have a welcome package for you. Your presence enhances our experience. We hope that you enjoy the service. That flower gets you 10% off in the bookstore, which is an awesome thing. There's some really cool stuff in there. There's also a desk out in that area, in the bookstore area, where you can get some information and such if you have any questions and such like that. So thank you. Now I'd like to get ready for our vision and mission statement. And as we say our vision and mission statement, just keep that in your heart. And as Reverend Denise Simone always says, try and take it out with you today. It's really a cool thing. So let's do our mission statement together. We are a vibrant spiritual community that celebrates the presence in all and awakens humanity to its divinity. And our vision statement together. Centered in love, we joyously co-create a world of oneness, peace, and harmony. Let's take that in our hearts and let's bring that to the world in the smallest way. I'm always trying to remind myself of that. I've got some announcements. Is Gina Genest here? Gina, could you stand? Gina is having a self-compassion and caregiving workshop today, noon, in the wing room. Are you someone who is currently providing caretaking for a loved one or a friend? Do you sometimes feel compassion fatigue, providing support to everyone? This offering will include relaxation through mindfulness meditation. It's $15 in the wing room. So if you're interested today at noon, please go see Gina. Gina and, Liz Korobek. Thank you, Liz. Thank you. Oh. Mary Howard, are you here? Of course you are. You're our Sacred Service Coordinator. Thank you for that. Mary is, of course, the person in charge of our meditation garden. So she's just continually been working on that. I don't know if you've checked out the progress. Unbelievable, beautiful stuff happening. It is a work in progress, so it's taking time. We have wonderful angels that have been stepping up. So Mary is going to be having a meditation garden work day on Saturday, October 1st from 9:30 to 11. She's going to provide lunch, and basically it's planting, weeding, mulching, and then lunch afterwards. So it's kind of a nice communal time too. So it's on October 1st, out back on the Meditation Garden Workday. Basically, if you think about it, many hands make light work, and it also makes it more fun. Bring a trowel and a garden rake, and if you have any wheelbarrows, they're always welcome. So thank you. Go see Mary if you have any questions. She's in the back, and then I'm sure she'll be over. Thank you. And then our wonderful sacred service man, Seth Walrizak. Thank you, Seth. Our rapper in the house. He's our sacred, he's in charge of all our sacred servers, our volunteers, you know. So on October 2nd, he is going to be having a sacred service fair, which is right after service, right, Seth? Okay. So we joyously co-create a world of oneness, peace, and harmony. There are many ways for you to be able to be in service. Come meet with the many sacred service team members and discover what you are called to do. I think you've all probably been to the last one. You're probably familiar with them, so that's always a good thing. So thank you, Seth. We all know Seth. And that's, yes, we do love you, Seth. We do. And now it's time to greet each other in love, whether a handshake or a hug is appropriate. We like to say, I see you, or we say namaste. Thank you. And now for our heart opener, Light Up Love.
This will feature our small choir group this morning, who comes a little bit early every Sunday to keep it all going, and I greatly appreciate them. A light burst of stardust, well favored to choose. I feel my soul knocking and a story unfolds. Then some love so holy delivers the notes that soothes and reminds me of truth. I stand in the power of a wind so warm and rain that has all green growth. I look to the light, mysterious and far. I don't ask for them now, I just bask in the stars and light up love before the fire. Light up love, elated or bruised. Light up love in any mood. We thought something was missing and we'll find when we dare to light up love. Light up love. Light up love. When love's endless circle, no first place nor end, I'm free to the light, we unite once again. The love in that light, the yielding supreme. I walk just 2 steps and I feel what I mean. I stand in the power of a wind so warm and rain that has all green growth. I look to the lights, they're mysterious and far. I don't ask for their now, I just bask in the stars and light up love before the fire. Light up love, elated or bruised. Light up love in any mood. We thought something was missing and we'll find when we dare to light up love.
Thanks, Maura. You wrote that, didn't you? Yeah. Yeah, nice. Nice.
Can I thank my band, Stevie and Andy?
So, hi.
Looking good.
Not as good as you.
Looking good.
Thank you. You look good too. That compliment never gets old. Thank you. So we got one more week before our adventures in faith begins with Big Magic. How many of you have bought your books? All right. So a lot of hands still need to be raised. So I expect to see all of you in the bookstore next week. Now, if you can't make a group, doesn't mean don't get the book, because what Adventures in Faith about is all of us doing the same consciousness shift at the same time. So even if you can't make a group, and we have some groups already ready to go. We've got groups in Andover, we've got some here in Amesbury, we've got a group in Newmarket. We still need more groups, more facilitators. And in fact, we're doing facilitator training after church today at noon. So if you're not doing the self-care workshop, the compassion care workshop with Gina, come join me and learn about facilitating a group. It's really going to be simple and easy. But if today, after my really inspiring and uplifting talk, you go, you know what, I want to have a group. I want to study this with some other people and get to know them and so on, please come join me and we'll take care of it, okay? But this book is pretty amazing. This book is pretty amazing. And I know some of you started reading it. And what I want to say is it talks about, as the title suggests, creative living beyond fear. So I want to talk about fear today, because implying in that is that before the magic happens, there's fear. Before the magic happens, there is fear. And a lot of times when we are in spiritual communities and we get this idea that we have to live without fear. Hashtag no fear. You know, I want to start off by simply saying that's never going to happen. We are always going to have fear. There will never be a time in our lives when we are not afraid. I know what you're thinking. Oh, great. More good news. Why are we never going to be afraid? Because we're human. And fear, before anything else, is a biological response. Fear is a biological response. And we can be as spiritual as we want to be, but as long as we're in this human body, the biology is going to be working with us, or in some cases against us. Fear is a biological response. Fear is a survival response. And we know about this. You've heard about the reptilian brain, right? You know about this? Let's do a little biology lesson here. Chemistry I flunked in high school, but biology I was pretty good at. Okay. I want everyone, raise your hand like this. You do a little, stick your thumb in, fold your forefingers. Okay, now look at it from the side. Okay, all right. So this is your brain. This is your brain. Okay? So, your wrist and everything is your spinal cord, okay? If you open up your fingers again, your thumb and all this down here, this is like your limbic system. And then when you fold your hands over, this is what we call the neocortex, okay? This limbic, you can put your hands down now. This, I actually have that in my notes. Tell them put their hands down so we're not all sitting like this for the rest of the service. So this limbic system here, okay, especially, and there's a lot of different parts of the brain here, but this is the part that controls what we call our fight, flight, or freeze response. And there's a limbic system. What happens is when the body thinks we're in danger, it floods the brain with a whole lot of neurotransmitters like dopamine, serotonin, adrenaline, all those kinds of stuff that basically says to the body, you don't have time to think, run. Okay? It's a survival technique from caveman days when it was either going to be us or the saber-tooth or the woolly mammoth, and we decided we were going to run. Okay? That's what this does. The neocortex, the nice gray squiggly outside part, especially the front part of it, this controls things that humans developed much later. Things that take time. Empathy, compassion, patience, all the good stuff that we want to live from. Okay, that's controlled here in the front. That stuff, again, takes time. When our body thinks we're in danger, what happens is we literally flip our lid, and this part takes over. It says, we ain't got time to think about all of that good feel stuff. We don't have the time. We're going to die. Let's disconnect that and haul ass out of here. That's what this does. But here's the problem. It's 2016, okay? No more saber-toothed tigers, no more woolly mammoths. But what happens is the same neurotransmitters are released when we feel things like anxiety, shame, judgment, okay? So the brain doesn't know. The brain's like, we not care what, how, why. There's adrenaline, there's dopamine, it's a fright freeze. We gotta haul, we gotta get out of here, and this takes over. We flip our lid. But there's nowhere to go. There's no imminent danger to ourselves. But this is what the fear response is. And as long as we have this, the brain, we're gonna have fear. And remember, when we flip our lid, what we've done is we've disconnected from the good feely part stuff. We've disconnected from the patience, the empathy, the love. We've connected from our heart space, all that stuff that the prefrontal cortex, controls. That's what happens. And our brains, bless its heart. Can I say that about the brain, bless its heart? Yeah. Sure. The brain, bless its heart, don't know the difference when those neurotransmitters start flooding through it. It doesn't know the difference. So what we have to do is reconnect. What we've got to do is put our lids back on, wear the correct hat, okay, and say to the limbic system, thanks for doing your job and wanting to keep me safe, but I'm not really in any danger right now, okay? So just hang on. If it turns out that I really am, trust me, you'll be the first to know, and we'll be okay. I trust you, but let me hang on. So what are we afraid of? This is the fun part. What are we afraid of these days? Like I said, no more saber-toothed tigers, no more woolly mammoths, unless you live close to a zoo and something escapes. So what are we afraid of? We're afraid of much more subtle things. But all the things we can think of that we're afraid of, they ultimately connect to 2 or 3 basic things. One of them is loss. We're afraid of loss. Whether it's the loss of a loved one, loss of a job, loss of ourselves. We're afraid of rejection. And rejection is ultimately a form of loss too. Rejection is saying that who I am isn't good enough. We're afraid of that. We're afraid of not belonging. Ultimately a form of loss as well. Being alone. We're afraid of death. We are afraid of death. A lot of times when we become ill, when we become very ill, and the fear is built up in us around that, yeah, the limbic system says we need to survive, but when you really think about it, a lot of our fear around illness is attributed to this idea that we want to live, we don't want to die. This minister and priest and rabbi were sitting around talking, and the conversation drifted into, when we die, what would we want people to say about us? And the priest said, I'd like people to say that I was loyal and generous. And the minister said, I want people to say that, I served my congregation well and I was loving and compassionate. And the rabbi said, I want people to say, look, he's still moving, he's not dead yet. We try to avoid death. So that might be some of the reasons we are afraid. And part of why we're going to jump into this book is that it really addresses a lot of the reasons why we think we are afraid and why fear stops us from being the fullness of ourselves. Fear paralyzes us. Remember we talked about flight, fight, or freeze? Yeah. For a lot of us, because there's nothing to flee from, and we're not about fighting, the third option is freeze. So a lot of times the fear freezes us and doesn't allow us to live the full creative potentiality that we have. And I truly believe in my heart of hearts that when we talk about bringing peace to the world, that mammoth, gargantuan idea, first it begins peace with ourselves. And how do we create peace with ourselves? It's to move beyond fear. Because when fear freezes us, then we get into all kind of like beating up on ourselves. We create inner conflict around that. And if we are in conflict with ourselves, then the world's in conflict. Why? Because we are the world. Remember that song? We are the world. The world's not them, the world's us. If we are in conflict with ourselves, the world will be in conflict. So let's not be in conflict with ourselves and learn to move beyond fear. So here's the other thing about fear. Or how do we learn to be afraid? Let's put it that way. How do we learn to be afraid? First of all, when we have negative experiences, our brain, that survival reptilian brain, says, I don't want to experience this again. And it doesn't matter how many good experiences came before it. You may be a dog person and have 99 great experiences with dogs. And then you have the 100th experience where you suffer a horrible dog bite. Your brain is more likely going to remember that one than the other 99 because it was traumatic. Same thing with relationships. You might have had 24 really awesome, great relationships, and that 25th one was a disaster. You're not going to say, oh, well, I had 24 great ones, only one bad one, so yay, let's go, open-hearted, boom. No, you're going to remember that 25th one more than the others. That's just how the brain works, especially that reptilian brain. It wants to avoid the pain and the trauma again. So that's how we learn to be afraid of things, of situations. When we get rejected, and she talks a lot about rejection in Big Magic. When we get rejected personally, or something we create and put out in the world gets rejected, our brain remembers that and says, there's no way I want to do that again. I don't want to be rejected again. That doesn't feel good. So we become afraid to try again. The other way that we learn to be afraid is genetically. Scientists have learned that fear, because it is absorbed in the body, stored in the body, not just in our brain in terms of memories, but in the very cells, because of the flood of chemicals, and we hold fear in our body. There's a saying, our issues are in our tissues. You ever heard that? Yeah, our issues are in our tissues. So the fear is held on the body, right down to our DNA, and we pass it on. We pass it on. Fear is genetically inherited. I want to segue a little bit to the events that are prolific in the news these days, about the shootings that we see going on. You know, and this week, Charlotte was ablaze because of response to that. And people are asking, why? How did we get to this point? We didn't get to this point overnight. We got to this point because as far back as the 1600s, far back as the 1600s, when Africans were taken from their homes and enslaved, began a generation of fear. Think about that. Think about that. An entire group of people in this country were made to be fearful. And what do we know about fear? It's learned and passed on genetically. So this cycle of fear keeps passing on, keeps passing on. 1600s, 1700s, even after the abolition of slavery, still being passed on. Why? Because things culturally ain't changed all that much. Bring it all the way up to the civil rights movement in the 50s and 60s. Why do we have a civil rights movement? Because that culture of oppression, whether it's legal or illegal, overt or covert, still existed. So the response was fear. What happens when we are fearful? Fight, flight, or freeze. So here, starting in the civil rights era, it was less fleeing, a little more freezing, as in, we will stand our ground. Why? Because according to the Constitution of this country, all men are created equal. So we want some of that. We're going to stand our ground. And freeze also turned into fighting, into protesting. Some of it passive, some of it not passive. So what happens when you encounter someone who's afraid and is acting out that fear in an aggressive form, whether it's passive aggression or active aggression? What's your response? You're probably going to be afraid too. Why? Because emotions are contagious. They are contagious. And that fight, that flight, that freeze, that fear response from generations was met with what? More aggression, more fear. And we've got ourselves in this cycle. We've got ourselves in this cycle. And it's kind of hard to watch. It's kind of hard to be a part of. One of the other terms that you, I'm sure, has heard being thrown around in this whole thing is the concept of white privilege. And trust me, if you don't think there's a little fear in me, knowing as a black man, I'm going to stand in front of a white congregation and talk about white privilege. Yeah. But what does white privilege basically boil down to? Thank you. What it basically boils down to is that whole generational story of fear, of being oppressed. It's not your story. It's not a blame. No one's blaming you. Because I know the people in this building are among the most loving, compassionate, caring people I've ever met. So it's not about you as an individual. But what it is realizing that the generational story that continues in our time, that has been proven to be still embedded in our institutions, in our politics, in the police force. And again, I'm painted with some broad strokes here, but these broad strokes have resulted in these horrific incidences that we see. How many of you read The Onion? You know The Onion? That satirical, can't even call it news, but the satirical news thing. They posted for me what was probably the most impactful post, where it said, black man blissfully unaware his name will be hashtagged by the end of the week. He's just going about his normal business, blissfully unaware. And what it's saying is, because of these shootings that are happening, again, statistically proven to be more directed towards African Americans, African American males. Because this is happening, this is going to be his experience. It was poignant, it was powerful. But this is all, again, embedded in fear. In fear. And even if it wasn't your personal experience, you still pick it up. Why? Because emotions are contagious. I'll give you the perfect example. Don't tell anyone this, but I got pulled over earlier this week. Okay. Let's just say, first of all, I was in the wrong, technically. Yes, there was a stop sign. Yes, the intersection was clear. And yes, the wheels of my car didn't get to 0 speed. The officer said I coasted through the stop sign. I said, coast is a strong word. You know. But yes, technically, did I stop at the stop sign? No. Did I break that rule? Yes. Did he have the right to pull me over? Yes. All technicalities. But here's the thing. Because of what's happening in the culture, and because of what's happening in the news, because of what we're seeing, when that police officer got out of his car and I realized he was white, I immediately got afraid. An experience that I never had in the past, before all this stuff was really coming into headlines. Since before Ferguson. Never had that experience before of being afraid when a policeman pulled me over. Before, when it was, dude, come on, there's criminals out there. Why? Have you got nothing better to do? Yes, I was 15 miles over the speed limit, but you know what? It's just me on the road right now. So, I used to have that kind of resign, like, come on, man, go catch someone else. But now, because the fear is. So here's the thing about it, though. Here's the thing. How do we start to shift this? How do we start to shift this? First of all, we got to realize it's fear. We've got to name it what it is. It is fear. And not only name it as fear, but realize it's okay that it is fear. It is okay that it's fear. Why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't it be? It's okay that it's fear. But the other thing we have to do, and this is the really hard part, this is the part that I say when we talk about spiritual practice, this is the part we're practicing for. These are the moments we are practicing for, that when we find ourselves in situations where the fear comes in, and I don't care what the situation is, whether you're legitimately in danger or whether you feel like you've made up a story that it's going to hurt, so I'm not doing this. Or in my case, when I'm pulled over, here's the matter. When I realize it's fear, remember that I got disconnected, that I flipped my lid. I got disconnected. I got to reconnect. I have to reconnect. Buddhist teacher Tara Brach has this great saying, rather than flight, freeze, what is it? Flight, fight, or freeze. I have to attend and befriend. Instead of fight, flight, or freeze, I have to attend and befriend. Attend, pay attention to the fact that I am afraid right now. Pay attention to where I am. And befriend the fear. And say to it, thank you for reminding me of your role. Thank you for wanting to keep me alive. But you know what? I am really not in imminent danger right now. Not only am I not in imminent danger, but perhaps the best response for me is empathy, compassion, patience. Go into my heart, getting centered, and realizing this, that when we see these situations, and part of the reason why we're having these shootings is because the cops are afraid too. Everybody's afraid. Everybody is afraid. They interviewed a few years ago, this woman, I forget her name, she interviewed an entire police force anonymously on the condition of anonymity. And without fail, almost every police officer says, when I am out and I'm walking the neighborhoods and I see a black man who's bigger than I am, I become afraid. And it's every police officer saying this. It's police officers who are even bigger than the people they're encountering. They're saying, I feel afraid. And when we are afraid, we don't think straight. When we are afraid, we don't open our hearts. When we are afraid, we don't show up as God. Because if there's any place there is no fear, it is in God. There is no fear in God. But there's fear in us because we're humans. We are humans and we're also divine. is kind of a weird, paradoxical mishmash. But what it tells me is that I got another place to pull from, besides my experiences, besides my imaginings of how I'm going to be heard. I have another source to pull from, which is my heart, which is my divinity, which says to me, breathe. Just take a moment. Breathe. You're being flooded with endorphins right now. Just breathe. And calm yourself. Give yourself a little time to go back to the heart. Go back to the heart. That police officer who pulled me over, he simply said to me, we've been having a lot of accidents at these intersections. Please be careful. He didn't give me a ticket. And they said to him, thank you. Thank you. I said, thank you for looking out for me. And we went our way peacefully. Because I'm sure, I know I did, I'm going to bet he did too. Took a moment to breathe. Took a moment to breathe. Elizabeth Gilbert says this, and this is why we're doing this book. This is why I'm inviting you to move beyond the fear. She says, our survival depends on it. How we behave matters because within human society, everything is contagious. Sadness and anger, yes, but also patience and generosity, which means we all have more influence than we realize. How we behave matters. And how we behave depends on where we're coming from. Are we coming from the survival, or are we coming from a place of empathy, compassion, and of heart? And when we see things happening in society, when we see things that look violent and brutal, and when we feel helpless because we say that's happening there and not here, what can I do? Whether we say it callously, it's not my problem, or we say it from a true place of, I don't know, this really literally isn't my problem in my experience, so I don't know what to do. Here's what you do. You breathe. You go to your heart space. But then you also be a voice for love. You be a voice for fairness. You be a voice for the creative living. You be a voice for what happens on the other side of fear. The only way that we can move beyond fear is to do the very things that fear is not wanting us to do, which is to be curious, which is to be courageous, which is to be creative. It's the only way it's going to happen. And when we live these things, when we live the things that the fear is asking us not to live, that's when we're going to see the magic. That's when we're going to transform ourselves. It's going to take some time. We didn't get here overnight, so it's not going to change overnight. It's not going to change overnight, but the awareness is there. The awareness is there. The questions are being asked. The voices are being heard. The hearts are being opened. I have great hope. I have great hope. So I'll take a breath. And let's go to our heart space with some time of meditation. I invite you to just take a breath, breathe. And I'm going to invite you into a breathing practice some of you may know already. It is a yogic practice. basically alternate nostril breathing. And this is a practice that immediately has the capacity and the power to center us. This is a practice that I use when I'm emotionally overwhelmed. It's a practice that I use when I disconnect from my heart. When I'm flooded with thoughts of fear and rejection and panic and uncertainty. When I know I can't see beyond the flight, or the freeze, or the fight. So I use to help center me. So with your eyes closed, take the thumb of your right hand and cover your right nostril, and take a deep, slow breath through your left nostril. And then cover the left nostril with the ring finger and exhale through the right nostril. Inhale through the right nostril. Cover it with your thumb and exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Cover, exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Cover, exhale through the left. Nice and slow. Inhale through the left. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Exhale through the left. Keep going. Just alternate. As you do it, pay attention to the moment of stillness between each inhale and exhale. Pay attention to the points of contact as your fingers close off one nostril and then the other. And let that breathing center you. Let it give you pause in this moment. Let it bring you to the deeper truth that while fear exists, so does love. That while fear may close our hearts, love opens our hearts. And it is only with an open heart can we truly see our oneness. It is truly only with an open heart can we live from a place of compassion and kindness. It is only with an open heart can we be courageous and be a voice for the voiceless. To be a stand for those who have been put down. It is only with an open heart that God can flow through us. It is only with an open heart that God can be us. It is only with an open heart that we can be the magnificent fullness of who we are meant to be. So let us reconnect with that deeper self, the divine self. We reconnect and we allow our hearts to stay open all day, every day. I open my heart and I love. I open my heart and I love. Take that affirmation into the silence for a few minutes. I open my heart and I love. I open my heart and I love. Let this be the thought, the affirmation that guides us from this moment on. And when the fears arouse, remember the truth. Not to resist it, but to thank it for the role it plays. And reminded that I open my heart and I love. And we hold this intention for all the names in this prayer box and all the situations around these names. We hold the intention for them that they too remember to open their hearts and be the divine love. And should you hold that intention for anyone else, I invite you to say their names out loud now. In so doing, we see them and their situations differently. Not as them being victims, but as those with opportunities to open hearts, to be the love, to reconnect, to live beyond the fear. This is our journey, to live beyond the fear. Namaste.
Let it be soon. Don't hesitate. Make love, don't wait. Open your heart and let the love come in. I want the moment to start when I can feel your heart with more love, more joy than age or time could ever destroy. More love, more joy than age or time could ever destroy. Oh, honey, now more love, more joy than age or time could ever destroy. More love, more joy than age or time could ever destroy. Oh, honey, now more love, more joy than age or time could ever destroy.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Reverend Oy. That was really cool. That was really good. I've been struggling with that myself, how to look at it. I struggle with fear all the time. I love unity. This is where I get my spiritual food. Do you get your spiritual food here? It's a pretty amazing place. So, if you get your spiritual food here, it's time to prepare our tithes and offerings. So why don't we do that? And while we're doing that, I'd like to introduce our chaplains. Please stand if you're able. These beautiful souls are always, these guys don't just hold our space during service. They hold our space like 24 hours a day. It's amazing. These people are just amazing. Thank you for your service. Please see one of these beautiful souls. After service, if you have a special prayer, even if you have a gratitude prayer, they love to hear that too. They're here for us to sit with. So now as we hold our tithes and offerings, okay, didn't want to forget anything. Let us do the affirmation for tithes and offerings together. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Brian Dozer's coming up with One Love, One World.
We are one, 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 we are one. In this world of constant changing, all our lives are rearranging now. All the struggle, all the pain, are part of what we call the game, and harmony calls my name. Things don't have to stay the same. Peace
Peace on earth, goodwill to men can happen once again. We are one love, we are one world. Put your hands together now, every boy and every girl. We are one love, we are one world. Take some time to help your brother, and then you'll understand. One love, one world. One love, one world. All my life I search for reasons for the ever-changing seasons. Now all the heartache, all the shame, a part of how we're all the same, and harmony in our lives, peace and love and sacrifice. We all need to lend a hand, a brotherhood of man. We are one love, we are one world. Put your hands together now, every boy and every girl. We are one love, we are one world. Take some time to help your brother, and then you'll understand. Yeah, stand up, stand up. One love, one world. Stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. Put your hand in mine. Stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. Let your spirit shine. Oh. Stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. Put your hand in mine. Oh, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. Let's sing one more time. We are one love. We are one world. Put your hands together now, every boy and every girl. We are one love. We are one world. Take some time to help your brother, and then you'll understand. One love, one world. One love, one world. One love, one world. One love, one world.
Brian Dozier!
Thank you for the reggae. There's a little warmth there. Thank you. I appreciate that. You may be seated. Or if you want to keep standing, that's cool too. So let's take a moment to give a gratitude blessing for these tithes and loves offerings, these reflections of the abundance that we know that we are, the flow of creativity and expression that we are. And we at Unity on the River gratefully receive these, and we use these not just for our community, but to spread good love and light in the world. And we tithe back to the greater Unity movement. We tithe to various organizations here in the community. We spread the light and we spread the love, and we are grateful. Amen. Thank you. So a couple quick things. As you know, our gala is almost here. Our gratitude gala, November 12th. How many of you have experienced the gala before? So you know what a good time it is. And one of the good times, the best things about it is the live auction. What we do is we auction off items that people donate, and not just items, experiences. So we need some more of these experiences. Okay, so if you have something that can be valued roughly at $500 or more, and I'm talking about anything. If you got a timeshare you want to donate some time on, if you, I don't know, boat trips, golf trips, like anything, artwork, anything that you, jewelry. 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 Please speak to Linda. Linda, stand for a second. Linda Leland and myself are the ones who are going to facilitate getting all these live auction items together. So think about it and see us. And let me just say, this is not just one of our more meaningful fundraisers here at the church. This is an opportunity for us to be grateful for who we are as a community. Every year, we get together at an event where we celebrate and we are grateful for who we are as spiritual community. You don't want to miss it. I think tickets are going on sale next week. Yeah? Next Sunday, you can start getting your tickets for the gala. Get them quick. And why you say get them quick is that we're not at a place that can sit 8,000 people. Okay? So you want to be there, so get your tickets quick when they go on sale. The other thing, if you're also looking for another opportunity to serve this community, we are starting to ask you to consider being members of our board of trustees. The boards are the people who are the stewards of this church. And I know what you're thinking of, oh no, serving on the board, all those meetings, all that responsibility, I can't do it. Did I do that right? Was that a good, yeah, there you go, okay. No, that's not what happens. Board meetings, we do one board meeting a month, one a month, okay? And I've been on other church boards before where it is just this experience of like anxiety and contention. We don't have none of that here. We don't have that. Why? Because the members of our board are people who are spiritually conscious, their hearts are open, and whenever things come to us, what do? We take a breath, and we pray, and we say, what's the highest and best for this community moving forward? And that's it. And the rest of the time, we're just laughing and having a good time. So it is more about stewardship, being an active participant. So think about that. And if you're thinking, I might be interested in doing that, see Elaine. Elaine, please stand. Elaine is our board president. Christine, Malik also stand. Linda, Sharon. Anybody else here on the Mark? Is Mark here? Mark Schneider? I don't think Mark's here. Anybody else that I'm missing on the board who's currently here? If you're on the board, stand. Let me just put it that way. If you've ever been on the board, stand. If you've ever been on the board, here, stand. All right. Thank you. So talk to any one of these folks about their experience and what a joy it was to be serving here with this church. And again, just a reminder, I said it earlier about Adventures in Faith. If you're thinking about facilitating, I didn't tell you where the meeting and training was. It's going to be in the Peace Room at 12 today. I really need some more of you to step up and facilitate and host. We're training you so you don't have to worry about if you know how to do it or not. Why? Because you just heard my fabulous, uplifting, inspiring talk, and you're like, yeah, I want to help change the world. I want to help get us beyond fear. So yeah, hope to see more of you at 12. Okay? I think that's all I got. Mickey, your turn.
Here.
All right.
Well, it's that time in our service to have gratitude. Of course, we have gratitude throughout the service, but right now I'd like to say thank you for all the people that have made this service possible, from over in hospitality, all the way through to our children's program, to Brian, who just runs back and forth doing double duty. These musicians who just put together pieces of beautiful music within like an hour before service. To the beautiful choir who does the same thing. To the people that are helping out with hospitality until we get our full-time person in. Thank you for the board for doing that. Gosh, thank you, PowerPoint, streaming. There's so many, the folding teams, everybody. And And thank you, yes. And if you want to be thanked by me someday, serve here. Come to the Sacred Service Fair on October 2nd, right after service. Learn about something. Let me tell you something. When you serve in this church, it's very selfish, because I have had so many gifts from serving in this church. So it's a selfish act. So please be selfish. Okay, so we don't have to do the board. The board already stood. We won't have you stand again. We do have some particular angels we'd like to say thank you to. Special thank you to Susan, Michael, Christian, Bob, Edith, Karen, Jim, John, Diane, Maura, and Elaine. Thank you. And now it's time to shine.
Oh, why should I fear man when you made the heavens? Why should I be afraid when you put the stars in place? Oh, why should I lose heart when I know how great you are? Why should I give up when your plans are full of love? In this world we will have trouble, but you have overcome the world, and you shine brighter than the brightest star. Your love is purer than the purest heart. You shine, filling us with courage and strength to follow you. Why should I fear man when you made the heavens? Why should I be afraid when you put the stars in place? Oh, why should I lose heart? I know how great you are. Why should I give up when your plans are full of love? And you shine brighter than the brightest star. Your love is purer than the purest heart. You shine, filling us with courage and strength to follow you. In this world we will have troubles, but you have overcome the world, and you shine brighter than the brightest star. Your love is purer than the purest heart. You shine, filling us with courage and strength to follow you. Shine brighter than the brightest star. The purest heart. You shine, filling us with courage and strength to follow you. Shine, shine, you shine, shine, you
Okay, it's time to welcome in kids.
We are walking at the light of God. 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 We are walking, walking, we are walking, walking.
Good morning, everyone. Am I on? Okay, good. We have Becca back today. Woohoo! Love. We had a special teacher here today, Dr. Roxanne Delio. Where are you? Did you leave? I think she skipped out. She was with us and led the children in a meditation breathing exercise today that was awesome. Yeah, and we have Shannon with us today. Shannon just received her fire. She passed her fire. She's a fireman now. Woo! Firewoman! Woo! You're getting close. Okay, and I have an announcement for parents, grandparents. This Tuesday, there's a pajama party with our good friend Leslie and Sammy the Snail in Seacoast Repertory Theater, Tuesday the 27th, 6:30 to 7:30, okay? So support Sammy. He's a peacekeeper. That's why I'm mentioning it. Thank you.
All right, so let's stand and affirm the truth that we know that there is peace on this earth, and it begins with each and every one of us taking a breath, moving beyond the fear. Let there be peace on earth. Go live beyond fear.